Competition for the throne is heating up. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We are here back again to review another episode of Game of Thrones. This one, Season 2, Episode 4. It's called Garden of Bones. And Robb Stark is the guy leaving all the bones behind right now because he's dropping enemies, he's winning battles, and he is getting closer to be known as the King of the North.
Yes, and there is a joke in there about the Garden of the Bones, referring to Renly's arsehole. But here, we're going to just gloss clean over it there. We're going to talk about Robb Stark. I tell you what, he's won a lot of battles. He's bound to lose one soon. And I think when it comes to the big boy one, his pants are going to drop quicker than Renly would want them to.
I don't think Renly would complain about pants dropping too quickly, but
I know, but it's that quick he would complain.
Damn. So we're just going to go through all the different locations. That seems to be the best way to review Game of Thrones.
That's plenty, right? They know the score, right? Game of Thrones is location based.
Right. Well, last time I checked, it was 3-0 Robb Stark. It's now 4-0 because at Oscross, King Robb Stark has led a nighttime assault against the Lannister army, which was only manned by Renly and other Lannister guardmen. So he leads the surprise attack with his direwolf, and they win. Robb Stark's army wins. Lord Roose Bolton, who is with Stark, he thinks that they should kill all of the Lannister soldiers that they took prisoner because they're having enough trouble supplying their own army. Prisoners will slow them down, but Robb disagrees. He says they will fight with honour. They will follow the laws of war. Plus, he says he's not willing to do anything that could put his sisters at danger. So, I mean, obviously it's war. People die, but Robb Stark, he's still doing it in the right way. You know, he's still trying to be honourable despite killing most of these Lannister men.
He is being honourable, but here, did he not learn anything from Big Papa Ned? I mean, honour should go out the window here. You've got to win the war, right? I get it, but when you're against the likes of Stannis, Renly, I mean, look at Joffrey, what he's doing. I mean, the Dothrakis and Daenerys and all that. Like, none of them even factor in honour. So I'm not saying you just go about killing them, but when he helps actually patch up one of the Lannister soldiers, you've seriously got to question what you're doing, Rob.
Like, look at the way the Dothraki get on. Do you think they care about honour? Think they take prisoners?
They just care about winning and, I don't know, pumping horses.
So, yeah, I mean, Robb Stark then sees a woman in the battlefield healing some of the Lannister soldiers. One has to get his leg taken off. She scalds him for this war, saying that a lot of these Lannister soldiers didn't want this, but, I mean, at the end of the day, if they're choosing to fight for the Lannisters, then they're fighting against Robb Stark.
Does she want Robb to ask each soldier individually here, did you want this?
Yeah, well, you know what? Ned Stark never asked to be beheaded either, and it still happened to him. He still got screwed.
Exactly, so. But another problem with this logic is, though, right, with this woman being here, it's like, say she said this to pretty much anyone else that's leading an army here, they should probably be killed for it. Why she said this to Joffrey?
Yeah, exactly. But no, Robb Stark just took this. But again, I think it just goes to show you the kind of people Starks are compared to, you know, some of the other contestants that we have going for the throne. But she introduces herself as Talisa, and maybe Robb's taken a liking to her, but she did seem a little bit surprised when Robb said he doesn't care about who sits their arse in King's Landing. All he cares about is Winterfell essentially being free, getting revenge for his father, and rescuing his sisters, which is completely fine and honourable for Robb Stark to do that. So I don't know why anyone would be pissed at Robb for what his objectives are here.
Yep, I mean, wants revenge.
I mean, it's not like he doesn't want power, he doesn't want to have complete control, he just wants to get revenge against the Lannisters, which is fair enough. At Harrenhal, we see Arya Stark, Gendry, and Hot Pie. Now, Hot Pie's the fat kid, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
What do you make of Hot Pie?
He's alright.
So they're taken by Ser Armory Locke's group of soldiers. They're put into this, like, I don't know, pig pen almost, with all these other prisoners. And it looks like one by one, the mountain is, I guess, selecting someone to die. And these people are being tortured. We see the whole rat technique being used here. So they put a rat inside, like, a bucket, and they they put the fire to the bottom of the bucket, therefore the rat is trying to get away from the bottom of the bucket, and the only way it can is to dig into the stomach. I mean, I know this is a pretty popular way of torturing back in the day. Kind of sick, but I mean, I guess a lot of torture is sick.
It was used in Too Fast, Too Furious, with our own Mark Bourne Jr. being the recipient of said torture, but yeah, the mountain has been recast here.
But did he die?
No.
Too Fast, Too Furious seems like it was way too recent for this kind of thing to take place.
2003.
So why is that torture? Why is that form of torture being used in 2003?
I don't know. He was referring to it being like old school. That's what they used to do back in 1751, big man.
No, you said it happened to him.
I did in the movie. Yeah, but then he like referenced like, "Oh, this is what we used to do back in the old days."
How old is he?
No, it's like, well, this is what, like, as in, like, this is what humans used to do.
So it never happened to him in the movie?
It did!
But what age was he?
Who? Mark Bourne?
Why is it happening in 2003 though?
I don't know, was it fucking... Have you never watched Fast and Furious? Too Fast, Too Furious?
No.
They're torturing for information. Fuck me, man, I don't think too much into it.
Anyway, we see Gendry is about... So, if sooner or later... So, yeah, one of the guys tells Hot Pie that you need to stare the mountain down, he won't pick you. And the same guy who was staring the mountain down ended up getting picked. So he was the one that died at the rats.
Hot Pie pissed his pants.
Yeah, so Hot Pie realised, oh shit, the pie is very cold and yeah, I don't want this piece of pie anymore. So he decides he's not going to stare down the mountain. Next, it's Gendry to be taken, but before he can be tortured, we get somebody riding in, and it turns out to be none other than Tywin Lannister. And he scolds his men, not so much the mountain, but he scolds the rest of them for torturing these prisoners, and he thinks that they should be put to work because they're losing at the war, and he wants to know what sort of essential skills they have. Gendry then obviously confesses that he is, I mean, a carpenter, I guess. You know, he makes things, a blacksmith, whatever.
They are two different things, by the way. I mean, carpenter and blacksmith, I mean, it's a big fucking... I mean, you can't just say whatever.
Same thing.
What, is he a fishmonger or something?
Who knows?
No, but see with the recast of the mountain, I mean, I can half accept it, but it's like...
No, this is my least favourite mountain.
His whole demeanour's different. The guy in the first season was explosive and volatile. This guy was like, yeah, Tywin.
This guy's calm and collected. It's like,
no, but it makes no sense.
It's like the guy in the first season, you wouldn't even expect to know English.
Aye, I'm surprised.
Just grunting.
He would have picked about 20 of them here and shoved them onto a bucket.
Yeah, I think out of... I mean, obviously I've seen little clips from each mountain, but this guy seems to be by far the worst. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this cast of the mountain. So, yeah, Tywin Lannister then puts them to work. One of the soldiers got an issue with Arya. He says he's going to gut you like a fish, little boy. But then Tywin says, don't be so stupid. This one's not a boy, it's a girl. And then Tywin basically praises her for being smart, dressing as a boy, obviously because it'd be a lot more dangerous if she was known to be a girl. And then he says, you're going to be my cupbearer because I need to be surrounded by intelligence. So Tywin Lannister just walks in for the first time in 4 episodes, and you just feel like there's a presence, you know, there's like... The man's walked in.
Yeah, it's like he's the only one to notice that she's a girl. He's the only one to be like, here, we need to use these for skilled labour. Not just kill them off one by one. He's the man.
Yeah, in King's Landing, Joffrey is just being Joffrey, just being a fucking dick, tormenting...
Tywin should be king. Who are we kidding here?
Yeah,
let's not beat around the bush. Fuck Joffrey, let's not even talk about him. What's Tywin doing? He's sitting on the sidelines eating pot noodles. Get this guy in the action.
I don't think they had pot noodles back then.
What would it have been? I don't know what it would have been, but I mean, what Joffrey's doing, the guys, I cannot wait for the guy's death. I know what happens, so I'm fucking looking forward to it.
So yeah, he's getting his men to beat Sansa. Tyrion walks in, saves her. I mean, Tyrion kind of just walks in and does what he wants, like, even though Joffrey's the king. Tyrion then believes it because Joffrey's getting older, maybe he needs to get laid or something like that, and that might, I don't know, change his personality. So Tyrion arranges like one of the whores to go and sleep with Joffrey, but it turns out Joffrey doesn't want to sleep with her, and he ends up like abusing her and torturing her and threatening to kill her with like this big crossbow. So I get Tyrion's plan, but in the end, it didn't really work.
No, nowhere near worked, but... Well, what did he expect, though? Obviously, Joffrey was going to... But again, it's like, is it plot armor with Tyrion being kept alive here, or like... Or... Say Joffrey ordered the murder of Tyrion here, like, would that have... Would Cersei disown him? It's not like Cersei's got much love for Tyrion, like... Would Tywin march back with his army of pot noodles?
You killed a Lannister. Yeah, there was this funny scene, I think, when Sir Meryn tried to support the king, and Tyrion says that he didn't threaten the king. Then he says, if Sir Meryn speaks again, Bronn, kill him. And he said that's a threat, and it kind of was a threat.
It was, absolutely.
But Tyrion just does what Tyrion wants to do. For a wee small guy, he's he's got a tall stature for.
I'm liking Bronn.
For a small man, and that was really it. We also had Tyrion revealed to Lancel Lannister that he knows he's been sleeping with Cersei, and he threatens to tell Joffrey that his... I mean, I guess Lancel... Is Lancel like an uncle to Joffrey? And he is the cousin of Cersei? Or is he a niece to Cersei? Either way, it's just more Lannister incest. And...
But see, Tywin. He seems like a respectable guy. He seems like top man. He seems like, you know... He's got his morals in one place. He seems like a fucking normal guy. What would he do if he found all this was going on? Like, the imp is like the most respectable guy beneath him.
Don't think he'd be too happy about it.
No, I don't think he would be.
So yeah, Tyrion then tells Lancel that he must report everything that Cersei does back to Tyrion, and if he doesn't, then he will go to Joffrey and he will reveal that Lancel is sleeping with his mother. So I mean, again, Tyrion getting people on his side. He's very good at that, trying to gain all the power that he can. In the Stormlands, Peter Baelish pays Renly Baratheon a visit. I guess he's trying to gain trust here. Peter Baelish, he's always trying to get as many people as he can on his side. I guess maybe he's ready to jump ship if the Lannisters lose. But he also was like trying to offer Renly a way in. He spoke about how it'd be easier for Renly to attack the capital, King's Landing, if the doors were wide open, insinuating that he might be the man that can basically help Renly win his crown. So, yeah, Littlefinger, what side is he on? We really don't know. He has a conversation with Queen Marjorie, basically tries to tell her that Renly's gay, but I mean, who doesn't know that?
I already know. Everyone knows that Renly's gay.
Yeah, Peter Baelish then meets with Caitlyn, who's furious about the betrayal of her husband. Baelish tries to, I guess, use this as a way for them to reconnect now, but Caitlyn's not interested. He then gives her an offer, saying that if they release Jaime Lannister, then Queen Cersei will release both Sansa and Arya, even though we know this is bullshit because the Lannisters don't have Arya. Caitlyn insists that Robb would never agree to this deal, that his men would never follow him if he did. Give up Jaime Lannister for 2 girls, but Peter Baelish says he knows Robb would never accept this deal, and that's why he's coming to her, not Robb.
I just don't like Littlefinger. He's like, you like using this word? He's disingenuous. He comes out with some fucking horse shit. It's like, I have no idea when he's telling the truth.
Yeah, he also delivered Ned Stark's bones as I know, some good faith, I guess. Now, I don't know what was in the box. Was it bones and a head, or just bones, or... I'm not too sure.
Anyone's bones, like...
Yeah, not too sure.
Might have been his head, that would have confirmed it. But then it's been weeks, so hasn't it?
Yeah.
And they didn't have ice. Well, they did have ice, but they didn't use ice really for this scenario, so...
Then, I think one of the better scenes of the episode, we had King Stannis Baratheon arrive at Renly's camp. They were having a discussion. Stannis said that he basically wanted Renly to bow the knee and accept that he's king. He says that nobody can deny that he is the rightful king and that he was next in line. Renly says that everybody rejects it, that nobody wants him as his king. Stannis isn't happy that Caitlyn Stark is what looks like siding with Renly, because Stannis says that your husband, Ned Stark, knew that I was the rightful king, and he backed my, he backed my stance, he backed my claim to the throne. But Renly's like, you don't really have a claim to the throne. To be the king, you need friends, you need an army, and you don't have that, Stannis. But Stannis seems overly confident despite not having an army. He doesn't have what Renly has. He doesn't have the 100,000 soldiers, but he does tell Renly that if he bows the knee, if he relinquishes his claim, then Stannis will grant him his old seat in the council, and he will even name him his heir.
He doesn't have many hairs on his fucking dome, El Stannis, does he? But anyway, let's talk about it. There was a long, awkward pause there, but you know what? Why can't they just put their differences aside?
Yeah, well, that's what Caitlin suggests. If you were sons of mine, I'd lock you in a room and bang your heads together. But, yeah, Renly
what he says, though, is like, Stannis is like 40 odds. I mean, like, Robb Stark and the rest of them are like late teens, early 20s. Big difference, but... Back to Stannis, he is the rightful heir. Renly can talk about, oh, I'm the rightful... No, you've just got the backing of armies.
I believe Robb Stark is 17.
Is he?
That's a bit shite that Jaime Lannister wanted to one-on-one him. That's not very honourable, is it?
No.
For the Kingslayer. But Renly doesn't seem to fear Stannis because he's not got much of an army. Stannis then tells Renly, do you think those bits of cloth will make you king? Whereas Renly replies and says, no, but the men holding those bits of cloth will. And that's it.
I don't want Renly to be king.
Then Miss Alandry warns Renly, quote, look to your sins, Lord Renly, for the night is dark and full of terrors, end of quote. So I don't know if that's some sort of weird supernatural threat there being dished out to Renly. But Renly watches on as his brother leaves and he proclaims that he once loved Stannis. I mean, for me, Stannis is the rightful king. By law, he is King Robert's younger brother, next in line. I don't know why those... And Ned Stark supported that claim, so I don't really know why we're all...
See with Renly, right? He was a fucking diddy man in Robert Baratheon's era, right? So why wouldn't he just accept, you know what? I'm gay, I take up the ass, so I'll just take a seat.
Yeah, he had a seat in the council under King Robert.
Yeah.
So why can't he accept the same seat here?
Yeah. Hell, he said, I think he was going to give him hand of the king.
True, but back then he never had that 100,000 army.
Yeah, come on, Ren.
Now he's got that 100,000 army.
Why just offend your brother in the fucking the Baratheon name?
What I don't get is here, why doesn't Caitlin tell Stannis that, look, Robb isn't interested in being the king of the Seven Kingdoms. He doesn't want King's Landing. We just want revenge and we just want Winterfell to gain independence. Surely Stannis would be okay with that. Surely Stannis would be happy being the king of the Seven Kingdoms but giving up Winterfell.
Yeah, but from Stannis' point of view, it looks like that the Starks have teamed up with Renly rather than just they want
yes,
blood.
but also because Ned Stark realised his claim and supported his claim to the throne. Could Stannis not do that? Could Stannis and Robb not team up? Would that not be the... It looks like the
opposite's happening. It looks like they're going to team up with Renly.
It looks like the obvious thing to do.
No, it is the obvious thing to do, but they're not going to do it for whatever reason. But yeah, may as well wrap this episode up because it's time to go to what do you call that place? Qarth?
It's not quite Qarth yet because at King Stannis' command, Ser Davos rows Miss Alandry to some caves nearby Renly's camp. So it looks like, I don't know, Miss Alandry is trying to sneak into Renly's camp, and obviously Davos is the guy that does that. You know, he can get you in. He's a, forget what his title was, but
the smuggler.
He's a smuggler. That's the one. So, what's the plan here? What is she going to do? We don't really know, but I didn't really like this. There's like metal bars blocking the entrance, and then the next minute, Miss Alandry, who looks like pregnant, even though she only had sex with Stannis last episode, she like lays down and gives birth to some sort of like evil spirit.
This is a load of shit. Like,
this is what I think. This is the worst. I think that this kind of thing. See this and the dragons. I think this is the worst of Game of Thrones.
I can accept the dragons. The dragons are like real creatures, though. Dragons once existed. You know, they're like descendants of birds or like descendants of dinosaurs. I can accept it. But see this spiritual pish, it's a load of shit.
Can you accept the White Walkers?
Yeah, way more than this. But no, the White Walkers is like a mystery. See this, right? You've got Stannis and Renly discussing battling on the fields against fucking, Joffrey and Robb Stark, etc. And then this woman's talking about light fire and here's a big black squid fucking shite at me. You know what I mean? Come on, what's going on?
Do you think?
No, I would actually say this has almost ruined the episode at this point.
Do you think Sir Davos should have just killed her here and then?
Yes. They should have just,
What the hell is this monstrosity?
No, honestly, I would describe. I wouldn't. It's groundbreaking. The word. Honestly, it's almost ruined the episode for me.
And then in the Qarth, so the return of one of the Blood Riders, Daenerys, receives word that there's a city of Qarth nearby, and they're willing to receive the Mother of Dragons. So they go there. It turns out one of the guys at the wall isn't willing to let Daenerys in without seeing the dragons. I don't know why Daenerys expects just to be welcomed and watered and fed, but she does expect this sort of queen-like treatment. The guy's not willing to let her in, and then another member of the group, it's like a group of wealthy nobles and merchants. This group is referred to as the 13. One of the guys then pledges that he take responsibility for Daenerys. He cuts himself and then has he shakes on it. I guess it's a blood shake or something. I don't know. Bit weird. And then Daenerys and her small group are allowed into the city of Qarth. And I don't know. This just ain't doing much for me. Whether the doors remained locked and shut or whether they got in, I just didn't really care. I was just looking for it to go to the next scene, the next location, and get away from this.
I mean, at least this is like realistic, so to speak, but it's doing nothing for me, man. 4 episodes of these, man, it's crap. Daenerys seems like a pretty important character by the end of this show. Fucking waiting on it. What's going on?
Yeah, so that was it, guys. In terms of deaths, nobody important. Well, we had a couple of Lannister, obviously, a lot of Lannister soldiers died. Alright, let's not deny that. I mean, we had quite a few Lannister soldiers die in the battle with Robb Stark, but other than that, pretty much nothing, not a lot happened in terms of deaths. That was it.
That was your whack.
That was your whack. So it's time to give this a rating. For me, it was probably the weakest episode so far this season. I like the scene between the Baratheon brothers. I thought that was pretty good, but
I thought King's Landing was good as well. Well, apart from the Joffrey stuff, that's the Tywin scene was brilliant. I like Tywin, but I'm gonna give it a 4. Honestly, that whole spiritual shit, I fucking hate that, and I thought Game of Thrones didn't do that.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna get 5. It just wasn't. I think it's the worst episode so far. Yeah, worst episode so far for me. Hopefully it can get better. And we will see what happens next time, guys, in episode 5. So, yeah, that's it. 4.5 out of 10. Not great, but we do have Tywin back, so we'll see what happens next time, and hopefully we can get an improvement on this. That's it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.